Hi guys, how are you today? Today we are going to talk about some structures that are actually very easy, very simple, and that we have somehow already studied them, but this time in the context of etiquette and customs, okay? So let's get started. So first of all, before going into our topic, I wanted to ask you if you remember this. If you remember the structures that you can see there on your left, the ones that said it is said that it is believed, considered, taught, alleged, claimed, etc. Do you remember them? We learned them on unit number 4 when we were talking about myths and superstitions, right? So, do you remember how is the structure made? Well, let me give you a quick review because from these structures, if we remember this, it's going to be very easy to move forward to the ones that we're going to study today, okay? So first of all, we use the pronoun it instead of a subject because we don't actually have a subject. We don't know who said this phrase. For example, if I say it is said that uh, breaking a mirror will bring you 7 years of bad luck. We don't know who said that for the first time. We don't know what's the origin of that because it's something that everybody or at least a very big group of people believe, right? Okay, so we have then the subject it all the time. And then we have the verb to be is. Why the verb to be? Well, and how is the verb to be? It's conjugated in the form and in the tense that we needed according to the belief. For example, if it is a belief that people currently have, well, we leave it in present. For example, it is considered good luck to wear red underwear on New Year's, for example, right? It's something that we still believe and some people still do. But if we're talking about something that people don't believe anymore, for example, maybe it was claimed that the chupacabra killed a lot of livestock. It's something that people don't believe anymore. If you tell them about the chupacabra, nobody's going to believe you, right? So we can say that in the past. Or if we're talking about something that used to be a habit in the past, we can say, well, it used to be taught that, I don't know, witches stole babies, for example, right? So when do we use it? As I tell you, when we don't know the origin, when we are just repeating, when we are just reporting something that didn't come originally from us, and we don't know exactly who said it, right? So we were talking in that case about superstitions, beliefs of that kind. Now we're going to be talking about etiquette and customs. So let's make a quick review of what etiquette and custom is, okay? Before checking the grammar. So I want you to remember yesterday we read in our material a definition. I was saying that yesterday we read a definition of what custom and etiquette is, so I hope that has been clear, right? So today we're going to think a little bit about what is a very common Mexican custom that is not known or done in other countries. So if we understood what a custom is, something that we do because it has been done in our culture, in our context repeatedly, what could it be? Can you think of something? Can you think of a Mexican custom, something that we do because we saw our parents do it, we saw our grandparents do it, and the people before them? Let me give you an example for you to better understand what a custom is. I want you to take a look at this. Probably this is going to help you to think or to understand easier what a custom is. Take a look at the pictures. Who's that girl? Of course, right? That's a quinceañera. Quinceañeras are a Mexican and Latin American custom that doesn't exist in other countries. So we can say that it's traditional to throw a big party when a girl turns 15, right? Also, take a look at this picture over here. What's that? That's a birthday cake, right? Mexican birthdays are also very traditional, very different from birthdays elsewhere, particularly for one thing. There is something that we do that no one else does in the world. There is something particularly that we sing that no one else sings in the world. What do we sing for birthdays? We don't sing the happy birthday song. What do we sing? Of course, we sing the mañanitas, right? So in Mexico, it's traditional to sing las mañanitas when it's someone's birthday instead of the happy birthday song, feliz cumpleaños, or whatever, right? So those are customs, those are things that we do because we have learned them from our parents, from our ancestors, and that's basically the only reason that we do them, right? Okay, now let's talk about etiquette. Etiquette is a little bit different. The definition said that etiquette is a group of rules that we apply in our social context or when we are part of a social group in order to show somehow our respect for some other people, right? So I want you to picture this. Take a look at this. Imagine you just finished your dinner in a restaurant, you pay the bill, you stand up, and you're about to go. But as you are going, you see other people that are still enjoying their meal in their tables. So what do? Do you walk past them silently? No, right? Mexican etiquette dictates that as you walk past them, you have to say, what do you say? Of course, you say buen provecho. Even if you don't know them, even if they are like no one to you, you are forced, so you are supposed to say buen provecho. That's Mexican etiquette. You are being polite with people, right? So that's an example of Mexican etiquette that not other countries do. I hope that those examples have been clear, right, to help you understand what custom and what etiquette is. So now let's take a look at the structures we use for saying this. The first one said it's traditional to throw a big party when a girl turns 15. It's customary to sing las mañanitas on someone's birthday, and you are supposed to say buen provecho to whoever is still eating when you leave the table, even if you don't know them. So let's take a look, let's analyze these structures. So we have a couple, if you can see. The first one, as you can see in this other example, it's rude not to greet everyone in a meeting when you arrive. I mean, when your family is gathered, you have to go and say hello to everyone and kiss everybody's cheek and hug everybody. Like you have to go with your tia, you have to go with your abuelito, you have to go everyone. Otherwise, they will tell you, ah, no me sale. So, how do we make this? Well, it, because we don't know who started it, right? Verb to be. And now we have some adjectives. It's customary, it's traditional, it's polite, it's rude, it's impolite. You can add any other adjective that you think would be suitable. For example, it's acceptable, it is unacceptable, and then you need a verb in infinitive. For example, it's rude not to greet everyone, or it is customary to celebrate a 15-year-old party for a girl. It is traditional to sing las mañanitas. Okay, so this is about what the custom is, what people do. Now let's take a look at the other one. This one doesn't refer to what people do. This one refers to what are the expectations. That is to say, what is the person expected to do in a certain situation. For example, in the situation of a party, you are expected to arrive a few minutes after the time indicated in the invitation. You are not supposed to arrive earlier or on time. You are supposed to arrive a few minutes after the time. If the party starts at 8, you're supposed to arrive at 8:30 or something, right? So how do we do this? In this case, we do have a subject, but that subject is the person on whomever the expectation falls upon to. For example, you are supposed to say buen provecho, for example, or the guests, los invitados, the guests to a party are expected to arrive a few minutes later. In this case, we can also use the verb suppose or the verb expect. That's basically it, right? In this case, in past participle, followed by an infinitive. So, I think that's very easy to grasp, right? Careful with these structures because we don't have like an equivalent in Spanish, these ones. So we don't say you are supposed, it will be like se supone que debes o se espera que hagas. So careful with that. But I think that you can go on from now. Now it's your turn to investigate customs, traditions from other countries and give me some examples. See you on the next video.